I think it's pretty safe to say that the Little Mermaid movie has been going through a lot of controversy. I feel like the general tension around this movie has been really uncomfortable online. I don't have to explain exactly why, it's for obvious reasons why there seems to be such palpable tension and controversy around this movie. And it's because they decided to cast a black actress as Ariel. Now, I've talked a lot about this movie on my channel. I've reviewed the promotional material. I've talked about how I don't think a lot of this marketing has made this movie look very good. So combining that with the fact that the casting was already controversial to begin with, and the toxicity around this movie has been insane. But then the critic reviews started rolling in, and that's when I realized that maybe this movie still has a chance at being good. So that gave me the confidence that maybe I should just walk into the theater with an open mind and maybe I'll like it. And oh boy, now that I've seen the film, I have a lot to say about it. Firstly, I have to say that I think Disney really dropped the ball with the marketing here. Nearly everyone online agreed that a lot of the visuals and visual effects that we saw in the trailer just did not look very good. A lot of people, myself included, complained that the scenes looked very dark and dim and hard to see, that a lot of the visual effects didn't look that finished, and just generally that the movie didn't look that good. So imagine my shock when I saw this movie and it was actually a whole lot better than the marketing made it seem. Now, I'm not the only one who feels this way. If you look at a lot of the critics who liked the film, pretty much almost all of them agreed that this movie does not look nearly as bad as the marketing made it seem. I don't understand why they chose some of the scenes and images that they did use in the trailer, because I feel like they chose some of the worst looking shots, and it's not nearly as dark either. In fact, the Kiss the Girl scene went viral on Twitter a week or two ago because of how dark and dim it looked, but in the theater, you could actually see it. It didn't look nearly that bad. So I'm like, why did they release these dim, dark versions of these scenes when the actual film doesn't even look that way? The visual effects aren't even that bad. Yeah, I will agree that some of the underwater scenes look very artificial, and I still don't like how the live-action animals look. I still think they look very uncanny and creepy. But overall, the visual effects in this movie aren't nearly that bad. Not compared to, say, something like Quantumania. That was bad. If you want to see bad visual effects, go watch that movie. This was a lot better than that. And I was also surprised by how much I really liked Hallie and the actor that played Eric. Their relationship together in the movie was my favorite thing in the whole film. I actually bought their relationship. I thought the actors had crazy chemistry together, and I actually was rooting for their relationship. I thought the guy that played Prince Eric, I should look up his name. I thought Prince Eric was actually a well-written, fully fleshed out character to the point that he became my favorite character by the end of the movie. I thought that Hallie herself came across as very personable and very likable. She even speaks and sounds like the original Ariel just with her talking voice. She personifies Ariel. Even Melissa McCarthy as Ursula, which, as you guys know, I was very hesitant about. Not to say that I didn't think she could do it, but I totally didn't think she could do it. I thought Melissa McCarthy was bad casting, but after seeing the movie, I actually think she did a really great job. Her rendition of Poor Unfortunate Souls was one of the best parts of the movie. You could tell she was having a killer time with this role and was having so much fun with it. She was actually genuinely great. The movie is not nearly as bad as I had feared it would be, just based off the marketing. Disney really dropped the ball here. Now, having said that, at the same time, I don't think the movie is perfect either. It definitely has flaws. One of the main issues that I had with the film was that it was way too long. The film runs at 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I feel like this movie is at least 20 minutes too long. It definitely felt like they were just trying to stretch out the original story from the animated version, because there were moments in this film where I felt like they could have really gotten through those scenes quicker, but there are lots of really long shots of just characters looking out at the ocean and close-ups of their face just contemplating and thinking. And overall, that's not a bad thing, but I definitely do think it slowed down the pacing of the movie a lot. Like, there were certain parts of this movie where I do think the pacing slows down maybe too much, and it can get a little boring at times. Like, I definitely yawned in this film more than once, but when the film gets good, it gets really good. I just wish that they had cut out a lot of the fluff and filler, and I think this could have been like a really amazing, tight, maybe 100-minute movie. Like, I feel like that's all they needed, not 135 minutes. You know what I mean? Also, Lin-Manuel Miranda writes 3 new songs in this movie, and all 3 of them suck. I'm sorry. And I like Lin-Manuel Miranda. I think he's a really talented poet and songwriter. But oh boy, did he miss with this one. I'm sorry. I thought Ariel's original song was okay. It was definitely the best out of the 3. But Eric's original song was just like, it had no melody or rhythm. It just kind of felt like he was just kind of singing. There was no beat or rhythm. Like, I couldn't even replicate the song to you because I can't remember how it goes. There was just no melody to it. I thought it was weird. And then, of course, we had the Scuttlebutt song where we have Awkwafina as Scuttle rapping. Just listen to this.
Remember that swamp? Remember my song in the swamp when I was like, wham, chicka, wham, wham, chicka, wham, wham.
Yeah, it's clearly not the best. I would say Awkwafina was like the worst part of every scene she was in. But just because I thought Awkwafina's voice was kind of annoying and that character in general was very annoying, so I could have dealt with less Awkwafina in this movie. I also thought the village when they get to land was very, very small and very much felt like a set, so I thought that was kind of funny. And as I said before, I do think a lot of the underwater shots, like, I never actually believed they were underwater. To be honest, if they did shave down the runtime on this movie, I wish they had done that with the first half, because the first half of the movie is with Ariel almost entirely underwater. She doesn't even get her legs until like halfway through the film. I wish they had shortened the first half of this movie so we had more time with her and Eric on land, because to me, that's when the movie actually starts getting really good. But yeah, overall, I don't think it was terrible. In the land of Disney live-action remakes, this is certainly not the worst. It's not a Mulan. It's not a Pinocchio. It's not anywhere near as bad as those films, like, at all. It's certainly watchable. I mean, the actors can actually sing, so there's no like weird artificial auto-tuning that you hear with Emma Watson. Like, Halle Bailey can actually sing, so she doesn't really need a lot of auto-tune, which is nice. The iconic music from the original is actually in the film, so you get to hear those songs reimagined for the live-action version. They don't cut them out like they do with Mulan. Like, it's not bad. It's not a perfect movie, but it's far from as terrible as I feared it would be, and as bad as I think people online are probably going to say it is, or try to make it seem like it is. Because there's definitely an agenda against this film, just because some people don't like the casting. And I have to say, that's really, really sad, because I thought Halle Bailey was one of the best parts of the movie. I thought she was genuinely wonderful. I think she's a great actress, so it's not just her vocals. She personified the innocence and like wonder of Ariel. She even sounded like her. Like, she is Ariel in just about every way except for the color of her skin. That's really it. And if that stops you from being able to like this movie, that alone, I think that's sad. Because the rest of the movie is actually not bad. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's a great way just to kill some time. Go see it if you like the original Little Mermaid. You'll probably like this. If you're not a fan of these Disney live action remakes, you probably won't like this one either. But I do think it is one of the best out of the live action remakes that we've gotten. So take that for what you will. But what did you guys think of the movie? Please let me know in the comments. I really want to know. I know this is probably going to be a very controversial video because everything about this movie is controversial. No, I'm not saying you're racist if you don't like this movie. There is a lot to not like if you don't like it. That's fine. But if you're specifically not going to see it just because you're angry about the casting, I think you're preventing yourself from seeing an actually pretty good movie, just based off of something that's very superficial. But those are my thoughts. Again, please let me know in the comments what you think. Also, please make sure you like the video. Every like on this video sends a message that this movie is actually pretty good, so we can get the message out there, because I bet there's a lot of people out there who, like me, saw the marketing, was like, oh, this looks terrible. Like, I promise you it looks so much better than the way that they presented it. I don't know why they did that. Also, subscribe to the channel for more reactions and reviews. Give me some suggestions on what you want me to react and review to next. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.